Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, salutations, blessings to the house of David, which is the elect, starting with the 144,000 prophets, and the rest of the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, staying in the Holy Spirit, and keeping the faith of Yahweh Shai day in and day out. So a real quick article coming from endtimeheadlines.org. It says Biden administration warns U.S. ports to prepare for cyber attacks as nationwide infrastructure is targeted. And, this is a reoccurring warning, right? A reoccurring rhetoric that is being, pushed by various different officials and governmental officials. And, something I was just thinking about is how, we often, as the Watchmen, we often speak about these articles and things that potentially, may happen, right, in the news. And it could seem repetitive, right? Because I know, for myself personally, I've done plenty of articles on, cyber attacks, current events and things of that nature. And we actually have seen certain cyber attacks happen. So these things aren't just a warning. These things are things that are actually taking place in real time. Now, of course, it hasn't been something that has been devastating as of yet. And that is, the key point. All right. Although they're happening, hasn't been a devastating blow. So these various different, certain cyber attacks could be likened, to a jab, right? And in boxing, you throw your jab to set up for the power punch. And the fact that we're seeing Babylon the Great, but it's happening throughout different parts of the world. But, America being a focal point, pursuant to prophecy of the Lord's judgment, we're seeing this happening more and more, right? And we've had, Klaus Schwab speak about how a certain, cyber attack on a global scale or cyber imic would make the the CV look like a small blimp, right, or a walk in the park or something to that effect. However, speaking on these things and warning them, warning the sheep about them is ultimately so that when that actual power punch does come, you are aware and prepared for it, right? And the preparation is spiritual. All right. Your mind is being fortified, because if you're constantly being warned that something is about to happen and you take that warning seriously, then when it actually does happen, you're not caught off guard, right? You're not caught by surprise. You are, in essence, anticipating or expecting it. You see, and that is the beauty about the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. They are faithful and true, right? Let's get that real quick. In the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 1, it says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy," which the words prophecy, prophet is to do what? To say before. Okay, that's the job of a prophet, is to say before. Prophecy is speaking something before it happens. Okay, saying something, speaking about an event before it takes place. And the words that we're speaking, right, according to linking them up to current events, is all about the prophecy of the pending chaos and pending destruction of Babylon the Great. All of these things, right? The cyber attacks, the uproars of the people, the pestilences, all these are plagues that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is bringing upon his place, all to further the downfall of Babylon, right? The fanners, so to speak. So it says, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. All right. So the fact that the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua are faithful and true, then we have to, as watchmen, as prophets, our job, our duty, our office is to continuously warn you about it, so that when it comes to pass, when it does happen, you are prepared spiritually, right, mentally for it, and therefore you can be stable while the whole world is is discombobulated and in disarray because they weren't, prepared. Okay, so that's just something, like I said, I was just thinking about as I was reading this this article, because it is repetitive, but the repetitiveness is for a purpose. All right, it's not beating a dead horse. It's actually continue. It's like another example, like in martial arts, if you continuously like punch a brick wall or something to that effect, what you're doing is building up the callus on your hands, right, on your knuckles, so that you'll have more resistance, or you'll have more of a numbness to the impact of a punch. So if you never punched something before, the first time you do it, you see it in movies, and somebody, the geek or whatever, or the passive person, he loses his cool and he throws a punch and he punches a person, and then like he shakes his hand like, "Ow, that hurt." Well, that's because his hand never felt the impact of a punch. But if a person is constantly punching, like I said, like in martial arts, you're constantly punching a brick wall, you become immune, or you become accustomed to the feeling of that impact. So when you do actually have to punch somebody, it's not going to affect you in that matter. It's not going to hurt you because you're used to it. So that's an example of why we are constantly repeating and constantly going over these same things, right? That's in current events, because sooner than later is not going to be a warning, right? As you see here, Biden administration warns, sooner or later, it's not going to be, sooner than later, I should say, it's not going to be a warning. It's going to be, this is currently taking place. And it's not going to be something that's on a small scale, something that is only affects a small percentage of people. Is going to be something that affects everybody. You are going to be affected. I'm going to be affected. Right. And that's where the scriptures talks about, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. OK, we're coming into the time where the troubles that we are warning about is going to be your reality. And if you are watching, right, if you are prepared for it, if you are diligent, as Yahweh Shah said, the good man, right, he would watch for the thief to see for the thief to come. And I'm roughly paraphrasing, so that he will not suffer his house to be broken into. OK, so let's just read a little bit of this. It says, a top Biden cybersecurity official urged the nation's ports in a joint call on Wednesday to have their data encrypted, rapidly patched any vulnerabilities in critical systems, and have a well-trained cyber team as hacks targeting key U.S. infrastructure increase. All right. These attacks on, as it says, key U.S. infrastructure are increasing. It's not decreasing. And like I said, Klaus Schwab, he already telegraphed that this is something that's anticipated, right? I believe the WIF, they also said that they expect a major cyber attack to happen within 2 years, and that was I want to say that was in 2022 or the beginning of 2023. So we are in that time frame, right, of them, saying that they expect a major critical cyber attack, to take place, where the infrastructure would be, highly compromised. Okay. I'm just going to jump around things. It says in a 2023 report, the Department of Transportation Maritime Administration warned that U.S. ports are vulnerable to cyber attacks due to the multiple stakeholders involved in the operation of the port, with risks identified related to facility access, terminal headquarters, operational technology systems such as communication systems and cargo handling equipment, positioning, navigation, and timing services, which would impact vessel movements and complex logistics systems at port facilities, and sharing between ships and ports of network connections and USB storage devices, among other technology. And something I also found interesting was the whole bridge collapse that happened in Baltimore, a month back. Now the FBI is investigating that as a criminal, case. So it's a lot of things happening underneath the surface, but if you're not paying attention, you would just think that, hey, everything is fine. It's like a pond or a lake that is, that has ice on the top. You see the top is, there's ice. So you thinking that, all right, well, I can go skate or I can run across this because I see the ice. But you're not realizing, you're not taking the time to be diligent to see whether or not if that ice is really thick. And you just go out and run on it. And next thing you know, you in the middle and it cracks. And now you stuck underneath that ice, drowning. All right. So you got to look further than just the surface. And Esau knows that majority of people, especially here in Babylon the Great, right? These Babylonians don't look deep, right? They don't look past the surface because they're so entangled with the affairs of this life. They're so indulged in the drunkenness, right? The folly of this world, that they don't care to see what's deeper. All right. And Esau does his sorcery and his enchantments. He does it on a spiritual level, right? But carnally, if you're not spiritually inclined, if you don't have the spiritual eye, right, the eye sloth to see, then you will be wooed. You'll be taken by it. You'll be distracted by it. Okay, that's why that movie, I always reference it from time to time when talking about Esau and his sorcery. That movie, Now You See Me. In that movie, he states their tricks is really, it's more than what meets the eye. Okay, you gotta really pay attention to be able to follow what the trick is. And even in that, if you're paying attention on a carnal level, you still won't be able to catch it. You gotta be You have to be be spiritually minded. All right, and that's why it says in the book of what is that? 2 Corinthians or 1 Corinthians? Is that 2? Let's see. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 10, it says, "But the Most High hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit, for the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of the Most High." Okay, and that's why you have to stay in the Spirit. That's the Spirit. As I said that, it turned to 14 minutes and 41 seconds of the length of this video. So call Lord how about Shemal Shai, but that's it. The elect are going to be in the Spirit and be able to search these things out, be able to see these things. Remember, the scriptures tells you that the heart of Esau is deep, right? He makes a diligent search. So he does things on, as it says in Genesis, that the serpent was the most subtle beast in all the field. And when you go into that word subtle, it means crude, not crude. I keep saying that, shrewd or crafty, right? He is Esau is the top wise to do evil, spirit. All right, the Edomites, especially the elites of Esau. As it says, Yahweh Shah said that the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light, because the children of light, which are the Israelites, they're blinded by the God of this world. Verse 11, it says, "For what man knoweth the things of man, save the spirit of man which is in him? Even so, the things of God knoweth no man, but the spirit of God." You see? So that's why you have to be the spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh has to, sup with you, has to be, you have to be dealing with you in order to know the mysteries, in order to know the times, the signs of the times, and in order to know, the things that are going down, all right, in this current time, all right, and not being distracted by the fashions and the folly and the lusts of this world, which a lot of our people get very easily caught up in. This whole, now all of a sudden Drake and not Kanye, J. Cole and Kendrick has beef, and that's all Jake is talking about, right? And it's so interesting that all of a sudden now they have beef, and you have World War III popping off, right? Here you have warnings of cyber attacks on key infrastructure, and Jake is in their most docile and sottish state right now. And Esau does that time and time and time again, and Jake falls into the trap over and over and over. And that's why the Lord said, as a snare is going to come upon the whole world, because what? They're unaware. Being unaware is very, very dangerous. All right. It's deadly. It's deadly dangerous if you're unaware. How many people die, right? Because they're unaware of their surroundings, because they're not paying attention, crossing the street, they get hit by a car. Dumbass death, right? That's a dishonorable, dumbass death. You walking across the street and you just looking down at your phone, not realizing, not paying attention to your surroundings, and here comes a Mack truck, just comes in and trashes you. Or you in a subway and you not paying attention to your surroundings, knowing, right? Because if you are in the spirit, and if you are paying attention to the times, you would know, like, hey, these spirits of vengeance are out here now, right? People, love of many is waxing cold. You got demons that's out here. So it would behoove me to pay attention. If I'm in a subway, if I'm in a place, where people are getting attacked at, it would behoove me to be on my P's and Q's, right? To be circumspect, right? Looking around. But yet you got a lot of these Babylonians just in La La Land thinking everything is sweet. Next thing you know, they getting pushed on the track at the last second, and now a train comes in and takes them to the spirit world. They on that one-way ticket to the spirit world. Okay. So let's jump. It says, foreign attackers are increasingly targeting U.S. infrastructures across vital services, from transportation to food supply and health care. Hey, all of those things, like it says, is vital, right? Food supply, the scriptures talks about there should, famines are going to happen, right? Healthcare, you have a lot of people in America that depend heavily on medicines, right? A lot of people on dialysis, a lot of people are on, you got diabetes, right? They got high blood pressure. They got all different type of infirmities, to where they need medication daily in order to maintain living. Okay. It says in February, the FBI warned Congress that Chinese hackers have burrowed deep into the United States cyber infrastructure in an attempt to cause damage. FBI Director Christopher Wray said that Chinese government hackers are targeting water treatment plants and the electrical grid, transportation systems, and other critical infrastructure inside the U.S. On Wednesday, Google's cybersecurity firm Mandiant released a report that included analysis of a Russian-linked hacking group and a January attack on a water filtration plant in Muleshoe, Texas. A cyber intrusion caused a water tank to overflow. So those are what? Jabs, right? Those are jabs. But eventually, it guaranteed that hook is coming. That uppercut is coming, right? That overhead is coming. And if you're not paying attention, if you're not bobbing and weaving, metaphorically, if your head is not in the game, then you're going to get you're going to get hit, and that's going to knock you out. All right. And like I said, these things, I'm not saying just because you're watching you're not going to be affected by it. But ultimately, if you understand and know that potential danger is coming, then what? As it says in the book of Proverbs, the 23rd chapter, so like your 22nd chapter, verse 3, a prudent man, right? A wise man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. All right. In NLT, it says a prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions, right? Precautions. Let's go into the definition of precautions. Let's see. Precaution. I know pre is before. Let's see what the word caution. Previous cautions, prudent foresight to prevent mischief or secure good results, a measure taken beforehand. Every day. That's why the scripture says that the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. Everything that we're doing is doing it beforehand, before it happens, right? And ultimately, we're warning about things before they happen. And it's not just warning, but telling you where you're supposed to go for cover, right? The name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is a strong tower. The Lord said these things are going to happen, and we are also in a position to where we can't defend or secure ourselves. Why Ezra said, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? And who will be the deliverer? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. So it says a measure taken beforehand, an act of foresight. Hey, you got to be able to see afar off. Okay? To see afar off. So it says a prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffer the consequences. All right? And that is what a lot of people are going to find themselves in. They're going to find themselves in the consequences of their ignorance. All right. And the consequence of ignorance, 9 out of 10 times, is death. All right. You don't get a reward for being ignorant. You don't get a good reward. You don't get, esteemed for ignorance. Esau told you ignorance was bliss. He didn't tell you the latter part of that. The latter part of being blissfully ignorant is being woefully destroyed. All right. The Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is a God of knowledge. He's not a God of ignorance. He doesn't desire you to be ignorant of anything. Actually, and I'll close it out as it says in the book of Ecclesiasticus. Is it Ecclesiasticus? Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, verse 10. It says, be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. All right. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. So this is why, the Lord put the spirit on the prophets to continuously warn about things, even if, it's not a big matter. Small matters turns into big matters. All right. A small problem can turn into a big problem if you're ignorant of it. Okay. And this is another article here, and I'm not going to really go into this, but you see the headlines: a cyber attack. And this came out today. A cyber attack hits New York State government's bill drafting office. So while they're over here warning about the ports infrastructure, being hit with a cyber attack, you just had the New York State government's bill drafting office get hit with a cyber attack. And it's becoming a commonplace right now in Babylon, where cyber attacks, are just hitting different, governmental agencies, hospitals, anything, right? It's you had the whole health insurance that got hit with a cyber attack last month. So this is something that is very commonplace, but eventually it's going to be something that is devastating. All right. And we're ultimately, not ignorant of Satan's devices, and knowing that all of these things he's doing to cause panic, to cause confusion, to cause chaos, and have people in a state of fear, in a state of pandemonium, so that he can come with his solution, right? Which that solution is nothing but a trap. All right. So, for us that is in the know, okay, keep watching, keep staying diligent, right? Stay diligent, stay patient. All right. And Lord willing, we'll be found worthy to escape all of these things that are coming, because they are coming, because the Lord said it's going to happen, and his words are faithful and true. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kodash. Shalom.